What's up, everybody? Welcome to TPI, the Total Podcast Idiot Show, where we cover everything and anything related to Hardwood, the best game ever created. My name is Idiot number one, Robert, and that's Idiot number two, Andrew over there. Andrew, how you doing on this fine, I don't even know what day it is, fine Thursday.
We are the champions. Okay, I don't want to get copyright.
Oh God, I didn't even know that was part of it.
But I think some teams got to be singing that today, right?
We certainly know Basoy is singing that and a whole lot of other stuff.
Yeah, if you didn't know, today was the day of the sim of the national championship games. And I mean, that's going to be the focus of today's very, very short episode. So, congrats to the national champions. For D1, that would be Azusa Pacific and Basoy. For D2, that is Washington, the Washington Huskies, and Gnocchi.
I always struggle with that word.
I know, yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I guess we should say who they beat too. So Azusa Pacific beat Slappy Pappy's Salisbury Seagulls. I mean, great run for them though. First off, right?
Yeah, I mean, Slappy Pappy, an 11 seed, making it all the way to the D1 tournament finals. That's, it probably hurts for Slappy Pappy and Salisbury to make it all the way to the final and lose, but you got to be proud of that run. If I was ever an 11 seed and made that far of a run, I'd be happy. That feels like bot time.
Yeah, for real. All right. Yeah. So Washington, the Huskies beat our rival in our division, the Louisiana Lafayette Ragin' Cajuns.
Woo!
Yeah, G. Cole's team. Yeah, man, that was a big matchup. We'll probably try to look at the box scores. But yeah, we just want to congratulate the winners here. And in Division 3, the South Alabama Jaguars and Palkify, the team that knocked out Texas A&M Kingsville in the Elite Eight.
In the Elite Eight, ended Ben Latham's career. So
and they beat who? The Louisiana Tech Bulldogs.
Yep. I'm happy that if Texas A&M Kingsville is going to go out, it's going to go out to the eventual champion.
Yeah, so, I kind of wanted the same thing with Dominican, losing to Lipscomb, because then 2 years in a row I could say I lost to the eventual national champion.
That's right.
In the tournament, yeah, because I lost to Cornell in 2016.
That's right. I forgot about that.
So unfortunately that didn't happen, but Washington was a really, really good team.
Yeah, to say the least.
Yeah. Shall we look at our bracket challenge winners?
Yes, let's look at the bracket challenge. I would say, how do you feel about this bracket challenge? Would you call this a success? Because I certainly would.
Why would you call that a success?
I'm not saying because I finished first place in the D1 bracket challenge. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying because I think it was really fun.
Yeah. Keep talking. Yeah.
I honestly just, I am a wizard of picks, and I somehow, well, first of all, I didn't even make the top number of correct picks. That was DCM rules with 35 out of 63, but because they scale, I just happen to win. But yeah, I mean, I think everybody that participated enjoyed it, and it was really cool updating the winners each and every day, and then seeing how the predictions changed and who jumped from like 10th to 1st or 1st to 10th or whatever it was. I think it was a success. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, we got a decent number of entries, and it seemed like a pretty easy interface to learn and just do your thing to pick. It's not like cbssports.com type of level. We're not providing scouting reports on every team within this interface. But yeah, it was pretty solid, I'd say. Hopefully we get more next season though, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a good number for D1. We got like 23 predictions, I believe. Yeah, and then it kind of sort of scaled down with D2 and D3, which sort of makes sense. But I hope, with the success of this tournament challenge that we had, and then the lead up into going into the next tournament in, what's a little bit over a month now, hopefully like 40 days or so, 43, 44 days. Hopefully, a bunch more people sign up and we can just get it that much more competitive. Eventually, I was thinking about this, Could we get a trophy and then inscribe like winners on it or something silly like that?
Yeah,
Because
potentially.
that's what I was thinking, but I don't want to start by putting myself on there. Um, but also like I want it to be a bigger field of people, you know, like let's say we get like 50 entries, and then the winner of the 50 entries in that case is truly like, you know, the champion of that challenge kind of thing.
Yeah, that's a good, I like that too. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. So, you know, I kind of want to get creative to inspire people to participate and get really excited about it. So we'll see. We'll see what sort of ideas we come up with in the future.
Yeah, I think, like I said, no, sorry, like you said, um, they're the same person, obviously. um, I think hopefully we get more next season, because obviously there will be like a longer lead up to it. Like we kind of sprung this on people. I mean, we did it in a week in advance, but still, like, it just seems so quick.
Yeah.
And you know, next season it won't be that much or as much. So obviously in terms of like when we can set it up, it will be, but like there's nothing we can really do about that at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, let's go over some of it briefly. You took the title in D1, but DCM was like pretty close
Yeah.
and got more picks correct overall, but like you said, it scales up. The other interesting thing is, like, look how many teams picked Azusa Pacific.
Yeah.
That'll help your score, I'd say.
So early on when we did these predictions, because we were the first couple to do it, right? Once we like had finished the actual bracket or whatever.
Yeah.
And I thought picking Azusa Pacific on my end was going to be like one of 3 or 4 people. I didn't think a bunch of people were going to be riding with APU, but I mean, it's good to see.
Yeah, actually, here's something. Whoever this entry was, they got 34 picks correct over here, but a lot of them are just in the first round.
Yeah. So they
That's
must have picked some
interesting.
of those really interesting upsets and stuff like that. But I mean, so they had APU, Mississippi, Knox, and then Lewis and Clark obviously winning.
Yeah.
So APU and Mississippi were good calls. Knox got knocked out a little bit earlier, and then Lewis Clark got knocked out a little bit earlier. But it just goes to show you can have like 2 out of the 4 final 4, and you're still not going to be, you know, like top 3 or 4 all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like
se.
this round really, I don't know if it killed them. That's the round you really succeeded versus like everyone else didn't.
Yeah, and it helps like that I had Slappy Pappy making a Sweet 16 run, right, in my bracket.
Yeah.
And so like little upsets like that I predicted kind of helped me push along there. But you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. So just thanks for everyone for entering. We'll definitely do it again next season, I think.
Yeah, and I think everybody will probably be encouraged next season to go crazy with the upsets, given what what happened with this tournament for sure.
Yeah, I feel like we always talk about how many upsets there were, but like now we kind of like have record of it more so, you know?
Yeah, and I think when we get to D3, it's going to be no more evident than the D3 like prediction thing, because it was, yeah. But let's go ahead and go on to D2 and talk about that a little bit.
Sure. So I mean, our runner-up in D1, he ended up taking the title in D2, the D2 challenge, by a lot here, by 14 points over me. So, you know, hey, props to me too a little bit.
He was the only one that picked Washington to win the title.
Really? Out of all the teams? Wow.
Out of all the teams, he was the only one to pick Washington to win the title. So that's obviously what propelled him.
Yeah, that'll definitely help, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that's a nice bump for him, of course.
Yeah. Congrats, DCM. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. So I mean, it's pretty good that you finished second, considering your title winner got knocked out in round 1.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty impressive overall.
Yeah.
And it's pretty interesting, like we were talking about. So Kokomo Mantis, right, finishes 3rd, but made 31 correct picks. That's 8 more than the winner.
Whoa, yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So Kokomo Mantis dominated round 1 and 2.
Yet still only had one, first round or final 14. So yeah, that's really
he made the mistake of believing in us.
Yeah, seriously. Never believe in us.
Never believe in us. But I just think it's really funny how quickly the scores scale down. right? So like D1, I won with like 116 points, I think it was. And then here, DCM rules wins with 83, but then fourth place is 43 points.
That's such a good point, though. Yeah, I mean, right, D1, like the top 5 had over 100 points, and it's not like these are any like the score scale the same, right? So yeah, I get what you're saying with like regard to the upsets, just it being more unpredictable, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like if we were to go through, and would take a little bit of time, but I don't think there would be any teams maybe that had 2 Final Four teams. Or any predictions here? Like Washington, no St. Joe's, no Biola, no Wisconsin.
I had two.
Oh yeah,
two
you had
Final Four
Lipscomb.
teams,
Yeah.
but I highly doubt anyone had 3.
Yeah, that's a good point. Or
you would
maybe
think they would be closer to the top. I mean, that'd be amazing if they were not at the top but had 3 Final Four teams.
Yeah, that would be something. I don't think anybody else besides you probably had 2 Final Four teams in that case.
Yeah. Just off the quick look, kind of. Yeah, I agree. I think so.
So.
Wow, that's interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah.
I love I appreciate the love with regards to our teams. Like so many people having confidence in us, though.
I feel really bad letting them down, though. Like Santa Clara let everyone down, losing in the first round. Dominican at least made somewhat of a run, though. Santa Clara just shit the bed.
Sweet 16, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to D3 because that looks even worse.
D3 was, my God. Yeah, so this
is what I was.
Your
champion.
Yeah. Congratulations, Andrew, with a score of 50 points.
Tying.
Yeah.
Winning on a tiebreaker.
Okay, and so if you look here, right, Grayman.
I got no points correct. No points in the last 3 rounds.
That's what I'm saying. But Grayman's the only one who got any points in the last 3 rounds.
Oh my God.
Nobody else got any points in the last 3 rounds.
That's wild.
And that's because there's so many wild upsets so early in this division, right?
Yeah.
Like you had Wyoming, Waynesburg, Troy, and Northeastern State. Not one of those teams made the Final Four. Did anybody even have a Final Four team? No.
I think someone did. Here, I can go here.
I don't think anybody did because they would have had points past
maybe
round
not.
3. Yeah.
Maybe not. Yeah.
I don't think anybody did. It's all over the place. It's
messy.
So
I mean, Louisiana Tech would be that one.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So that's why he got some late round points there.
Yeah. Huh. I totally thought like Purdue, Fort Wayne, and like Auburn, Montgomery were Final Four, but they were Elite 8 only.
Yeah, I thought those teams were shoo-ins for the Final Four.
Yeah.
That's why I picked them, obviously, but just goes to show.
I guess I can't say yeah because I didn't pick them. Yeah. You did though. You did a good job.
I did, and then I picked Wyoming, who I upset, so that was rough.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So I mean, congrats to Grayman for basically almost winning. I mean, you were right there, and I mean, congrats to everyone. Really, this is not an easy task to just like do, though.
It's not an easy task at all, especially when it comes to D3. I don't know who Grayman says Jackrabbits. I don't know who this user is, but
I've seen them
like
around. I don't remember them.
Like I'm curious if he's like a D3 team. Grayman.
Methodist University. Oh, okay. They're D1, but I've seen some of their like PRs, and they're pretty good.
So Grayman is the guy that's on my JC freshman. Okay, interesting. All right, Grayman.
One of them. Right?
You just became one of my rivals. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so shout outs to Grayman. I mean, to finish really well in D3 when he's a D1 team, it's pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
So
okay, so those are the brackets. Do you want to get into like some of the national championship games just a little bit?
Yeah, let's break into them a little bit.
Cool. So we'll start with, obviously the top one. First off, I mean, Azusa Pacific, we've talked about their run a little bit, but more so like how dominant it's been, right? I mean, everyone's been saying no team's been within 20 points of them this whole postseason, or at least in the national tournament, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the closest team was Utah State, if my math is correct, by 24.
Yeah, looks like it.
Wow.
Houston was
Louisville
25.
beat them.
Yeah, Louisville beat them.
Wow, so they got 2 losses all season: Black Hill State
by
and
4
Louisville.
and Louisville by 8. So
yeah,
their combined losses were a total of 12 points.
Yeah, yeah, they make that up in one game. So looking at the national championship game itself, Besoy talked a lot about Rosado being just a really underrated, under-recruited type of guy who developed really well. And, he's the guy who carried him in this game. So, that's I would feel really good about that, obviously I would feel good about winning the national championship, but
yeah,
about having, a gem that you find and carry you, that's got to feel really good too.
Especially when everybody's commentary on him is that he's undersized and you can't make a run with that kind of player in the D1 tournament. And then Besoy says, watch this.
Yeah.
And that's just that.
Yeah. Yeah. Salisbury, when they upset Mississippi, that shocked a lot of people. And I know in the Discord, there was a lot of talk about like how it happened, why it happened, with regards to tactics, especially. And Salisbury looks like they kind of just, do their own thing with a lot of zone, 42%, and then a lot of pressure too. They don't play a lot of man. And, we detailed in the Final Four preview about like how, or the Elite Eight review, how like their length really helps them, right?
Yeah. And with Salisbury, right, like a lot of commentary on how they upset Mississippi was based on rebounding margin, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, there was some mention of the fact that, hey, APU is undersized. Maybe that rebounding margin comes into play when it comes to the championship game. Obviously that's not the case. APU won the rebounding margin 42-37 and had 2 more offensive rebounds. Rosado pulling down 15 boards on Koltsov. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, definitely. The other thing I was just looking at was like, so we just talked about Salisbury pressing a lot, and Azusa Pacific didn't press a lot, but Azusa Pacific only had 6 turnovers. Salisbury had 22. So like, yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah, Salisbury's point guard alone had 8 turnovers.
Yeah.
It's pretty rough.
Kristaps.
Kristaps, exactly. And then, so I was thinking about it, right? So like we said, Salisbury plays a lot of zone, and that doesn't necessarily mean that the defender at the position is going to be guarding a certain player, right? And so Mason McNulty goes 2 for 14 from the field, has what one would consider an off day, but he drew 7 fouls.
Ooh, good point. Yeah.
He drew 7 fouls. And if you look at Salisbury's guards, right? So the point guard, Kristaps had 4, Al-Rahman had 3. And then, if you just look at those two.
Craig probably is kind of on the perimeter too. He had 3 as well.
That's what I was sort of trying to think. Yeah. So like, because you have to add up to 7 either way.
Yeah.
Right. And then none of the backup guards look like they picked up any fouls.
Right.
So you would probably think it's Kristaps, Al-Rahman, and Craig.
Unless it's like driving to the basket and Koltsov fouling him, basically, right?
Yeah.
That'd be the other.
That's probably actually a better point, because can you pull up his shot chart? Because his average distance is 1.5, but that's only on 2 field goals made.
Wait, does it show up? I don't know if it shows up.
It didn't show up.
Okay.
Oh, if it doesn't show up, it's fine. Don't worry about it. You could just give us like there it is. Yeah. Okay, so McNulty. Okay, so McNulty only took 2 shots at the bat. Yeah, those are all perimeter fouls.
Well, no, but these are misses. We don't know. We don't know what like they attempted like when they came in and then get fouled, right?
What I more so meant to say was like it looks like he was majority of the time he was on the perimeter.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's a rough shot chart.
Yeah, well, I think Besoy will take it.
Yeah, Besoy doesn't care.
Going back to that.
Yeah.
So that was this game. I think it's a tale of there's a lot to take away. I think that turnover difference, the rebounding difference, like you talked about. Salisbury didn't do a terrible job defensively, really. Holding Azusa to like 21% threes, that's pretty good.
And 45 from the field.
And 45 from the field is pretty good. Yeah.
But like we said, and the free throw disparity wasn't even all that great, right? 22-18. But
yeah, that's not crazy.
APU shot 77 times, Salisbury shot 62 times.
Yeah.
So the number of possessions was not equal, and that probably comes from turnovers.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So yeah, I mean, congrats again to Besoy. I mean, props to Salisbury too. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely
Slappy
props to
Pappy.
Salisbury and Slappy Pappy. That's a great run. And you lost to like one of the all-time teams, so I wouldn't feel too bad about yourself if I was you.
For sure. All right. Let's go to a UW's win over Louisiana Lafayette. You can see they won by 20.
We love it.
Yeah. They did have a close win against San Diego, who was a team that beat them in the conference championship, in fact.
Yep. I was gonna say, like, this is a pretty dominant run outside of that San Diego game too, right? So win by 20, win by like almost 39 in the Final Four.
But I mean, their first round win was only 13.
Yeah, but like comparing to APU, it's not as dominant. But like in a normal situation, there's some pretty dominant performances here.
For sure. I think in the first round game, they were just confused about which Washington that each player was on. You know, so confusing.
Players were swapping jerseys.
Yeah, man. Not in these times of COVID. Oh no.
Refs were calling fouls on Washington number 5, and we were like, which one?
Yeah, which one? Just give it to that guy. I mean, the case of this game, I mean, Leo's still going off for 37 points, getting player of the game despite the blowout loss.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's a monstrous performance though.
You know, I've been very critical of Leo still. I mean, he showed up here. I give him props for that.
Yeah.
Although that's not obviously the story. The story is UW's, I guess, balance points in the paint look crazy. 52, holy moly.
Yep. And I would also argue free throws, right? 29-16, 21 versus 9 made. That's a pretty, that's a what, 12-point swing alone on free throws right there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, getting Peter Cook into foul trouble and having him only play 17 minutes is a big deal for Louisiana Lafayette because that's like their best interior scorer. Yeah, so then you really up, and I think probably their best interior defender too. Yeah. So you can like really up your advantage in the paint than if you're Washington when he's out.
He was +2 in his 17 minutes. And, you know, let's say he plays 28 or 30 or whatever he says he needed to play. And let's just say he draws even. That's a pretty significant impact on the rest of the game.
Yeah, as opposed to like Snyder, who presumably came in for the most part, right?
Yeah.
Maybe Hansen a little bit too, but they were like, you know, plus or -18, -19. Yeah. So like that doesn't like completely make up the difference, obviously, but like a significant
swing is a game. Yeah. And then so both Anderson and Peterson drew 7 fouls by himself and Peterson drew 6. So they drew 13 total fouls between those two. Louisiana Lafayette drew 12 total fouls.
Oh wow. Yeah. That's a big difference.
That's a huge difference. You know, so like obviously Louisiana Lafayette struggled with Washington down low.
Yeah, it's interesting. The backup power forward, backup big really, Kaysen, he didn't draw any fouls, but he, you know, went 9 for 13 with 18 points off the bench, 9 rebounds. Like that's
2 blocks.
Damn good performance. And 2 blocks. No, yeah. You know, that's a pretty damn good performance in itself. You know, outside of all this context too.
Hell yeah. 18, 9 and 2 blocks is like, that's like a complete game for a starter, much less a bench player playing 19 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are solid minutes. Anybody would take that.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, tactically, you know, we know Louisiana Lafayette pressures a decent amount, but they play a lot of man. Washington looked really balanced throughout. I mean, with not a lot of pressure.
Looks like they played a little fast. Oh no, well, Louisiana Lafayette played fast. Yeah, that's which we expected.
Yeah, which we expected. Yeah. So I mean, it kind of just looks like Louisiana Lafayette couldn't really impose their game plan and their will on Washington, and I guess just physically, like Washington, you know, outmatched them.
I mean, it was going to be one of those things where like whoever's style wins out probably has the swing advantage in this game, right? With Louisiana Lafayette playing so fast, and Washington really wanted to pound the paint, and it just looks like Washington's game plan won out here, right? 52 points in the paint is a ton for a single game. That's more than half of their 103 total points.
Yeah. So I just scrolled over something. So like you can see Woodling only played 21 minutes, but then there's no like point guard coming off the bench. So, I just clicked around and looked at who was like the actual backup point guard. It's actually Beam over here.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I remember Beam being weird when we looked at the Elite Eight preview. Like he was like really tall, right? He's like 6'7", but he's got pretty good great ball handling, pretty good passing, high IQ, and he's like a good perimeter defender. So like, wow. I mean, look at Cochran. Cochran got shut down.
Yeah, I don't understand how Cochran is still +2 in his 15 minutes when he did nothing, but so be it.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously not all of that is Beam. A lot of that is probably Woodling too. But like, to take out one of your opponent's starters just like that is really big. I mean, like we talked about Cook, but Cook still like was kind of productive, but like Cochran was not productive at all.
Yeah, he was just a space filler.
Yeah, and then Louisiana Lafayette just didn't get enough from their bench either.
Yeah, I mean, we previewed Washington early on in the season. We talked about the fact that they had the highest TPI in all of D2. We knew that they were going to be a really good team all season long. So I'm not really super surprised that they ended up winning the championship. But Louisiana Lafayette had a good run as well.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing with Washington was that they had a presidential change like really late into the season. So like that, I think, was like probably going to be the main deterrent, whether the negligence of the previous president was going to cost them or the inexperience of the new president would cost them.
Well, we also saw them make some depth chart and game plan changes like on the fly, right, in the tournament.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, like this looks like a little bit different of a lineup than what we saw in the Elite Eight preview, right?
Just when we were just 2 days ago.
Because this guy, the Peterson guy, was the guy who like really confused me because he was playing at small forward and now he's at center and only exclusively at center. So that's interesting.
But I mean, it seems like a pretty smart move.
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously it worked.
yeah. So
all right.
Congrats to Gnocchi.
Mm-hmm.
And congrats. Then who's Louisiana Lafayette's president?
G. Cole with the bunch of numbers
that's
right. At the end. Yeah.
Congratulations, G. Cole. Good run.
All right, and let's go over D3. Naturally, South Alabama and Palkify. So obviously they went undefeated. This was like a close game. This will be interesting.
Yeah, it looks like a really close game.
I mean, look at most of their results. Like they're really close. A 1-point win in the first round, 11 points, a 17-point, 11 points.
I still contend that if Kingsville plays the game they're supposed to play, they win that game. But they didn't. So
okay, they were not reviewing that game.
Yeah, I know.
3-point win here though. I mean, a 1-point win and a 3-point win. That's really close. Ooh.
And then a 7-pointer.
And then a 7-pointer. Yeah.
This might have been really close. Like go down to the game feed. This might have been really close going into the final few minutes.
Well, look at halftime. Louisiana Tech was winning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So let's go to the game feed. I mean, let's go to this here. Well, it looked like a bit of a blowout for a while, and then it started to close. But like it was definitely close at halftime or around there.
Wow, South Alabama just dominated the second half.
Yeah. I mean, look, they were in the lead by a bunch in the first half, and then they fell off, and then they came back despite like a really bad stretch here.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like a few more bad stretches for Louisiana Tech right about here.
Yeah, you don't want to see those straight lines. You don't want to see extended straight lines. Like that 5 minutes where both those teams have big, long straight lines. That was just bad basketball.
Yeah. I don't want to read that.
That was true college basketball.
Oh man, look at like Louisiana Tech starting off the game. They went nearly 3 minutes without scoring.
Oof. It's like Santa Clara against Dominican.
All right. So like looking at the box score, I mean, it kind of was just like domination, not quite domination. I mean, rebounding, Louisiana Tech actually had the advantage by a lot. Yeah.
Wow.
But just like shooting wise, not even close.
Yeah.
Turnovers low for both teams, but like not even close.
Wow, they only have 4 turnovers in the whole game.
Yeah, that's crazy. So
I mean, I feel like what doomed Louisiana Tech was going 8 for 30 from the 3-point line.
That's
when you take double the 3-point attempts as your opponent, but you make one more. That's not really all that efficient. And granted, I'm not an expert on how well they've been 3-point shooting this entire season, but like 30 attempts, 8 for 30, that's pretty rough.
Yeah, I mean, I remember we didn't go super deep into Louisiana Tech, I remember, but I remember Severson was like the big scorer, like the best player and best scorer. And like Foley, I was like, he's kind of small. And Jones was a pretty decent big, but I don't remember like these two guys. So like the fact that Watkins went 3 for 13, 2 for 10 from 3, yikes. I'm gonna just click on him to see like
Yeah.
what he's about. 125 SI, so he's like decent for D3. He's only 30% shooter though all season. So
On
like
3 attempts, yeah.
uh
He only started 3 games.
he only oh whoa. Was there an injury? Yeah, there was an injury to Pierce. So maybe that was a big deal.
Damn.
Because I was like, there's no way a guy should be taking 10 threes.
Earl Pierce. Yeah,
Oh yeah, like
that's a big
one of
deal.
their best players. Yeah. So Hedrick would have started at shooting guard, and then Pierce. Yeah.
That sucks, but it's also a bot, so we don't really care.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the game too,
Yeah,
so.
yeah, exactly.
So I mean, hey, that's probably a big storyline right there. Just that injury. I don't know if it cost them, but it was a not good.
Yeah, and I mean, also like Severson, like we said, was one of their best players, fouled out in 15 minutes. And then if you look at John for South Alabama, he drew all like 6 fouls in his 32 minutes. Oh, wow. So presumably a lot of those fouls came from Severson.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So that was just a matchup nightmare, apparently.
Well, I'd take a deeper look, but it's not like I can give the bot any advice because they don't listen. They don't have ears. But yeah, so congrats to Palkify. That's awesome.
Yes, congrats. Like I said, if you're gonna beat me, at least win the tourney. So I'm proud of you.
All right, what else did I want to highlight? I wanted to highlight this awesome post in the forums. From where is it now? Is it here? This one in V9 and 5.9. Taves Soul of Nazareth, he like made this Google Doc of most of the teams in his conference in their recruiting classes and like just writing like nice reports on the players. I mean, nice in terms of like they're good, not necessarily like nice because he's like complimenting them all.
I think we know what you mean.
just making sure. Like it's really good, and I mean, yeah, hopefully he keeps that going for whatever conference he's in because they're fun. Like I'm like, yeah, this is my type of reading material.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Are you gonna pull it up?
Oh, sorry, I don't know how to do those things.
Let's just give him his due.
For sure.
I mean, this is a nice breakdown.
I don't know the color coding. I think it might mean like red is demoting and blue is promoting.
I have no idea. We are not. No, there's too many reds. Maybe it's the average or something.
Well, there's only 4 reds.
Oh.
Or five reds.
Well, tell me the teams and I'll look it up.
Okay. Walsh is a red team. Johns Hopkins
Cavaliers.
Johns Hopkins, Carroll, Alfred, like.
Yeah, you're right. They're all demoting teams.
Oh, okay. Is Baylor promoting? I think
Baylor's promoting, correct.
Okay, how about
good presumption?
What's Duquesne? What's he?
Nothing.
Okay, so that's the color coding.
Yeah. Good call.
Sweet. So yeah, I mean, like these are pretty like well thought out in terms of like the current roster state and then how these recruits will help the next year's roster. Not really talking about like redshirting necessarily, but no one really thinks about redshirting unless you're Fury, I guess, who redshirt everybody. No, yeah, it's really good. It's really good though. I enjoyed reading it, and hopefully it keeps that going.
Yeah, that was good stuff. We like active presidents that do good stuff like that.
Oh, if you click the cells over here, it's a link to the player.
Yeah,
I forget how to do it. Oh, you do this way.
Yeah,
it works. Don't worry. I did it once, just not right now. All right. Let's see. And then the other funny thing.
You got to go to it.
Was this? So Notre Dame just hired a new president, which awesome, and he made a PR, which is really cool. And it's a person named Desmond Conway who claims.
Just please read it.
Uh, I can't. It claims to be a former Kansas Jayhawk and
I'll read
Dallas
it.
Mavericks.
I'll read it.
I don't want to actually read it. That's boring, I think, but okay.
Okay, fine.
He claims to be a Dallas Mavericks assistant coach. But when I looked up the Dallas Mavericks coaching staff,
In the Kansas City 1980 or Kansas 1988 championship team.
Yeah. Hold on, I don't want people to see all the sites I go on. Yeah, we looked up the Dallas Mavericks coaching staff. There's no Desmond Conway, guys. We looked up the 1988 Kansas basketball roster. This is the Danny Manning team.
You know what we should be looking up? We should be looking up if there's any members of the coaching staff that were actually on that Kansas team, and Desmond Conway is a like, what do you call that when it's like a fake name?
Like pseudo writer.
Pseudo, yeah. So
ghost writer.
Pseudo, yeah, whatever
like
it is, something like that. Because then it's like, oh.
I don't think there was any overlap, but maybe I missed someone. I don't know. But yeah, there was no Desmond Conway on the 1988 national championship team for Kansas.
There's not.
But I thought it was funny because first off, like, I'm not trying to be like, you're a fake person or, made up or whatever. But like, it would be wild if an NBA assistant coach / national champion, like NC2A national champion, was playing this game, Hardwood. That'd be freaking awesome.
That would be incredible. That would be absolutely incredible.
It was more like I was hoping that it was true.
Yeah, same.
But good luck. Good luck to you, dude.
Yeah, and respond to my DM because I'm curious. I want to talk to you.
Yeah, I don't know much about Notre Dame, like their situation. Obviously, they had their presidency recently vacated. So yeah, I don't know how they'll do. We'll see. I mean, well, Deacon's got to take him to the promised land, right? Yeah. Is there anything else we need to talk about?
No, I don't think so. Like preview our next episode.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about how the flip is upcoming. I guess that's important. The flip is upcoming. Whew, what a good flip. Time. And we're gonna try to do a podcast, an episode of like us and a guest, looking at these some rosters and trying to offer our advice in terms of roster construction. How to set your, not how to set your lineup, but like what to set your lineup as. Who fits best where, type of thing. In recruiting, of course, which is a big mystery to a lot of people. That'll be, yeah, pretty big.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm gonna at least defer a lot to this guest because I'm really interested to hear what he has to say.
I'll try to defer. I mean, I'll definitely give my thoughts. I fear I'm gonna play like devil's advocate a lot, though.
That's
like,
good. That's gonna foster good conversation.
I feel like I'm just gonna be like, well, what about this?
Yeah, because you're the devil.
Alternative.
I'm just kidding.
No denying it. No, but we've got a decent amount of requests, which we love. Thank you all for submitting those, for you to those who have. We're still open to taking more, though, I'd say, right?
Yeah, I mean, as long as Fury has enough time to kind of look at them, break them down and stuff, I think it should be fine. So if you want to be one of those last minute additions, hit us up, let us know, send us a message on Hardwood or Discord. Or
I got some funny ones though. Like a Legends team email messaged me.
No way.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
A little bit of as a joke, but also like a little serious too. So
is it Bridger?
Yeah. No spoils. No spoilies.
Okay. All right, we'll have to see then.
All right. Yeah. So looking forward to that this weekend.
Yeah, we're gonna record that on Saturday. We'll drop it Saturday, and some good weekend viewing for you guys.
Might be a long one, but hopefully
it'll probably be a long one.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Don't lie to yourself.
Yeah. All right. All right, I'll talk to you later.
All right, guys, this is the TPI show signing out. We'll talk to you guys soon.
See ya.
Deuces.